Hey everybody, Tom Sparks from Sparks Media Group. Today we're going to capture this house and we're going to use our Giraffe360 Pro Cam. And so we're going to do a full workflow video. First thing we're going to do is power on the tripod. And then we're going to power on the camera. Just put the camera on the tripod like so. This is a battery bank holder that they include. I'm going to pull this off because we don't need it. And it says you can adjust the screen by hand. That's nice. This house, just so I have my details right, is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,057 square feet on a 3,420 square foot lot. Let's see. We did a firmware update last night, so we're good to go. We're going to do start new project. Ready to capture now. Got to connect to the tripod. It says updating tripod, please wait. So while it's updating, the first thing I want to talk about is something that most people gloss over, which is the firmware update they recently dropped for the Pro Camera. It cuts a single scan capture time, and I know that sounds like a minor thing, but let me tell you, it actually means a lot on a job like this. Every minute I shave off per scan adds up across the whole house, which means more margin per job, cleaner workflow, and honestly, when an agent is watching you work, speed looks professional. I'm not rushing, I'm just efficient. So update your firmware, that's the first thing. Okay. We will keep the project name the same. We're just going to hit the scan button. We'll hit skip on all the warnings. I'm going to go to settings. Actually, I'm not. We'll do a double scan. Let's see. Here we can adjust the tripod height. So I like it right around 4. We have a 10-second timer. And we're not going to do a single scan. Now, single scan will keep it at the same height. And that's fine for doing most 3D virtual tours. We're going to do a double scan so we can take advantage of the 3D Gaussian splat videos that Giraffe360 produces. So I'm going to hit the button. It says watch your fingers and leave the room. And it adjusts to its own height. Now, talking about 3D Gaussian splats, if you haven't seen those yet, they're cinematic fly-through videos generated automatically from the same scan data I'm capturing right now. There's no drone needed, no video crew, no second visit. You get 4 different templates to choose from, and the output looks something like a production team spent a day on. Here's how I'm thinking about this for my agents. I'm packaging this as a social reel add-on, $50 to $75 on top of a standard package, or I build it into a premium tier, photos, tours, floor plan, reel, and a listing website. One price, one conversation. Agents are consistently asking me, can you do something for Instagram? Well, this is the answer. So let's continue the process. It beeped, it said it's done. I always like to start at the front door. You can see on the little mini map here where we're at. Next, I'm gonna do hallway intersections because we want that line of sight. And walk away, let it do its thing. All right, got the hallway done. Next, we're gonna do this intersection point. And I'm actually gonna time it on this one. So I'm gonna turn on my handy phone, we'll go to clock, stopwatch, and you can see my phone. I'm gonna hit the button right now. Now remember, there's a 10-second timer before it starts. All right, that was 1:03. Not bad. I'm gonna come in the bathroom. Now in these other kind of rooms, not hallways, I'm gonna add extra scans because the more scans you have, the better the simulated drone video is, the better the 3D Gaussian splat is, or 3D GS. So spend a little time and get extra scan points when you're doing that double scan. I'm gonna do this closet for measurement data. Now, what I'm gonna do is just capture it with the 2 scan. We'll hide it from the tour. Done button. And when we click on it, we can't hide it, so we'll just keep it there. Hide it later on. All right, so here's the thing. When we're going into different rooms, I like to do on either side of the doorway. And so we're gonna start here with this first bedroom scan. While that's scanning, let's talk about the listing website. Every project with Giraffe360 now comes with a free hosted single property website, auto-generated. It has the photos, the tour, the floor plan, and the video. The agents get a URL. They can drop in emails, texts, social posts, really anywhere. I used to think this was nice to have. It's not. Agents notice when you hand them a real URL instead of just a tour link. It's one of those things that makes you look like you're running a media operation, not just taking pictures. I included in my standard package as a value add. You could also hold it at your premium tier. Either way, it costs you nothing extra. So, again, for this drone video, we want to do multiple angles in this room. So I'm going to do there, I'm going to do over there, we'll do the closet, and I think that should be enough for here. Hit the button. So I'm just curious for all my real estate media providers that are watching this video, how many of you are delivering single property websites to your clients, your agents? We now offer that standard. With Sparks Media Group, so anybody ordering a package from us gets a property website. The higher end tiers get custom domain names, custom URLs. Now, I'm just looking. My lens is clear, my LiDAR is clear, and the reason I brought that up is because I noticed in the bag, actually I'm going to show you. Oh, that beeping sound says, for best results, keep the camera straight while you carry it, which I didn't do. Let me go show you something real quick. Oh, I left it in the car. Darn it. Okay, I'll just talk to you about it. The great folks at Giraffe360 send the camera in this case. And in the case, they included a Costco supply of wipes to clean the camera. Super thoughtful. I actually keep my equipment really clean, so I don't use them too much. But yeah, there you have it. So the current offer, if you're interested in getting a Giraffe360 camera, as of today's date is, if you go to our link, which is wgan.info/Giraffe360, you can get a subscription for $326 a month, which I think is like a 10 or a 20% savings off the regular price. I don't know that number off the top of my head, but $326 a month for 12 months. And they have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so if you're not happy, you can return the camera. I don't actually know anybody who's subscribed and returned it. Okay. Okay, so here it is. Normally, it's $360 a month, and by using our promo code, you'll see you get $36 off, so it's $324 a month. All right, got the closet done. What I'm doing in the closets, I'm only going kind of halfway in, halfway out. All right, so we got this room done. I think there's an opportunity to do one more scan, and I'll do it right here, just to fill in kind of this area there. Right. So I'm going to do the next intersection point, which is the staircase. This is a garage door, and we'll do that in a little bit. Hit the scan button. I'm going to go hide. Here's a couple fun facts for you. Bathrooms are the most viewed room in virtual tours. not the kitchen. Giraffe360's CEO, Mikis Opelts, has pointed out this fun fact. Buyers subconsciously judge the overall condition of a home by the bathroom. So make sure you capture it properly. Make sure the toilet seats are down too. Virtual tours increase buyer engagement by up to 49%. This is not a Giraffe360 marketing claim. That's the broader market data being cited by investors right now. Okay. Now I'm going to treat the transition between the hallway and this main living area as kind of a doorway or opening, if you will. So I did one right here, and now we're going to go right there. Hit the button. And go hide. There's been about 130% increase on inquiries on listings with virtual tours. Giraffe360 actually cites this from their own platform data. More inquiries equal agents calling you back faster. The average client lifetime of 4 years on the Giraffe360 platform and growing. That's not a typical SaaS retention. It tells you that agents who adopt it don't leave. I'm not sure of the exact data, but Giraffe360 has said that there's over 1,000 plus properties scanned every single day using their hardware. That's worldwide. That's the scale that this platform's operating on right now. Pretty cool. All right, so in here, we're gonna do a bunch of scans, and I'm kind of gonna do a circle around the room. I think I'll start over here. We'll see how that circle kind of plays out on the drone video. Let's talk about virtual staging. I'll be quick here because this one is situational. If you've got a listing that's vacant or has dated furniture, it's a genuine upsell. Charge per room. $25 to $40 is the market rate. At Sparks Media Group, we charge $40 per image to virtually stage. Agents get listing photos that look furnished without having to hire a stager. Now, this house has been professionally staged, so we wouldn't use it here necessarily. But here's my honest take. Don't push it on every job, such as this one. When everything's an upsell, it stops feeling like value. Save it for listings where it actually solves a problem. One thing I have to talk to the Giraffe folks about is, I'll show you on the mini map when the scan is done, the flooring selector shows floor 0. And I like to call this floor 1 or the main level, main floor, first floor, not floor 0. So I think I mentioned it to them. I was at the PMRE conference in Las Vegas and was talking to them, and I said it'd be great to be able to change the floor selector on the screen. And I don't know if they implemented that yet. Change the name of it, I should say, is what I was asking them to do. And so I think the idea was to include a keyboard here where we could change it. Let's see if they did that actually. So here you see it's floor 0. If we click it, change the number of the current floor. I guess we could put it as 1 and see what happens. All right, let's just leave it at 1. See what it does. Come hide out of the way. Did you guys know that the virtual tour market was valued at $492 million in 2025, and it's projected to hit $1.37 billion by 2034? We're not riding the trend here. We're early in a decade-long growth curve, which is pretty exciting. Gonna open this door, so I'm gonna scan outside when we're done here. See how it handles that. Now here's some information that you can provide to agents. Mikas has pointed out that with Giraffe360, you can start publishing and broadcasting content the same day versus a typical 3 or 4 day turnaround with traditional photography services. There's been about a 50% cost reduction compared to traditional photography services with triple the content production speed. That's a pitch to agents who are currently paying us for a floor plan, photos, virtual tour, or paying individuals separately to get all that information. For us as photographers, you know, $324, $360, whatever that fee is per month that you'll end up paying, your first job that month can pay for the subscription. I think it's a pretty cool model. What I've come to understand is anytime a new camera comes out, let's say that you drop your camera and it damages it, you just reach out and Giraffe360 will send you a new one included in your subscription price. So you don't have to worry about, you know, taking extreme care of a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 camera. Okay. The room-to-room motion paths are plotted from the actual LiDAR geometry. So the walkthrough moves like a real showing, not a slideshow. We can add voiceovers to it, captions, agent branding, and adjust the order of the scenes. The virtual drone fly-through elevates above floor level to show layout and flow. Without a drone, without a pilot, no Part 107 license. Okay, I think we'll go this way first. Again, we're just doing on either side of the door frame here. How do you guys feel about upstairs laundry rooms? I like them. No need to carry clothes downstairs and back upstairs when all your closets are upstairs. One thing, if you'll notice, I haven't really checked it. It hasn't buzzed at me regarding any alignment issues so far. So that's pretty cool, because early on with these virtual tour hardware platforms, the cameras were having real issues with alignment. And this is early on, like 2015, 16, somewhere in that ballpark. So as these cameras, as the time progresses and these cameras improve, there's not so many alignment issues, which I can really appreciate. Just saves time on site. Now there's a bed in this corner, so we're not going to be able to put the camera in the corner. I'm going to do the center of the room, and then that corner, and then we'll do our closet. Okay, halfway in, halfway out. Now, some nerdy details for us geeks is the virtual staging is powered by Google Gemini AI, but with a custom prompt layer, Giraffe360 built on top that keeps outputs conservative and listing appropriate by default. It won't go bold or dramatic unless you explicitly ask for it. And that's actually a smart design choice for real estate. One-click AI property descriptions generated from the scan data itself is pretty cool. I personally am not talented enough to come up with property descriptions, and I know a lot of agents are kind of with me in the same boat. That description is transferable directly as a voiceover to video outputs. The camera reads the space and writes the listing copy. Now that seems pretty awesome. The AI detects furniture, room types, stairs, number plates on houses, even the camera itself, and it handles each one differently. Faces and plates in scans get blurred automatically, and the camera gets removed from reflections, and that's all happening without you having to do anything. How many times have you had to sit there and Photoshop out a tripod or a camera from a mirror? I know I've had to do it plenty of times, and I know that there's 3D tour platforms where it's not always automatic. So here's the thing with blue sky psychology. There's actual research behind this. Blue is associated with trust and calm. I happen to have blue eyes, so I like to think that's true. That creates a positive subconscious response in buyers. The sky replacement isn't just aesthetic, it's doing emotional work on the buyer before they even walk in the door. And I believe Sammy told me, I think it was Sammy, that now they're actually using the GPS data to make the sky and the sun on the sky swaps as authentic as possible and close to reality for the area the house is in and the time of day. So did you know that there's guided viewings on Giraffe360? The agent can do a live virtual showing through the tour. They can share a link with the buyer and walk them through the property in real time from anywhere. You can even hand over control to the buyer mid-tour and just answer questions while they explore. Now, because we're in California, and California passed a law, AB 723, I think it is, there's a transparency note worth mentioning on camera. AI staged images should always be labeled virtually staged. So if you're in a video talking about a property, you want to mention that while you're on camera that the images that are going to show up in the video slideshow or whatever it is going to be virtually staged. That's important. Or you can mention that they're digitally enhanced for illustrative purposes. Now, Giraffe360 builds this exception. They build this expectation into their own documentation. It's good ethics and it protects the agent from disputes down the line. I've actually been telling agents, when I go out and do videos with agents, and I'm recording them on camera or they're doing voiceovers, I'm actually telling them now to mention AB 723 and the fact that items in the images may be digitally altered. You don't want to alter the house, anything that's permanent, but if you virtually stage a room, you want to mention that on the image. You want to mention that on camera in the voiceover, that sort of thing. Okay, so we have all of that. Now we're just going to do, let's see, I kind of want to do this corner. Sorry, it's bothering me that it's not filled in. So we'll do the corner and then we'll do the closet. So let's talk a little bit about Listing Spotlight. Listing Spotlight. The full marketing automation layer of Giraffe360. Listing Spotlight auto-generates social media posts, email content, print materials, and a fully property website from the scan. No extra tools, no outsourcing, no design work. It's all waiting for you the moment you finish the capture. I am not a graphic design expert at all. Oop, gotta grab that closet. And so for years I was paying people to design for me, and now I actually have a service that I use to design all my graphics. I prefer to stay in my lane. The stat that backs up this Listing Spotlight, 52% of agents say that social media generates more quality leads than their CRM or MLS. And 94% of buyers search for homes online, including social. If agents aren't showing up on social consistently, they're invisible. And the Listing Spotlight solves that automatically. There's also a sight unseen market. 8% of properties in the US are sold without the buyer ever physically visiting. That's over 300,000 properties and more than 130 billion in transactions per year. That market only exists because of immersive media like Giraffe360 and the outputs that it provides. Okay. Primary and then front yard and then photos. Before we start more on the primary, I'm going to make sure these lights are on and it turned off. So for us gearheads, the Pro camera packs a 20.3 megapixel Sony sensor paired with LiDAR 2.0. That's a 20% increase in point density over the previous generation. The image rendering is described as Gen 3 with a flambient style quality, meaning it's closer to the look high-end photographers achieve by blending flash and ambient light. The camera body is about 3.7 pounds with a terabyte of onboard storage, which is huge. It can handle 100 property scans per charge. That's a full workday without worrying about running out of space or battery. Okay, we're off to the races in the primary. Do some extra scans in here. Let's see here. Nope, I want to do that. Why did the tripod drop height? I guess it doesn't matter. It's been adjusted anyway. AI is changing the pricing model across the whole industry. The old model was death by 1,000 cuts, per asset fees, size limits, perpetual hosting charges. The new model is a flat monthly subscription that covers everything. You get predictable costs, no surprises. Agents can actually budget for it. And photographers. This AI pipeline handles about 95% of the post-production work automatically, and that's what makes the flat fee possible. When you eliminate most of the manual labor, you can stop charging for every individual deliverable. Work smarter, not harder. My voice is a little bit raspy today because we have family in town and I was up at an ungodly hour. So did you know that there's 70% of real estate photographers still only offer just photography? Only 17% of listings have floor plans. Only 5% have virtual tours. Yet 67% of buyers say they want floor plans and 58% want virtual tours. That gap is your entire business case for upgrading what you offer. I know about 5 photographers who only offer photography only. And they actually reach out to me to fill in when they need virtual tours or aerial because they don't offer it. And what they risk is that the agent's going to say, well, if I have to order photos from you and then everything else from Tom, I might as well just go to Tom to get everything done. And so you really want to just kind of up your offering so that you offer more. Go right in the corner here. Trying to picture myself as a drone flying through and where I would want to hit each position. So we're about 30 minutes in. And this is for the 3D tour. We're probably going to do another pass just for photos and then compare them to when I was here earlier in the week using my Sony mirrorless camera to capture HDR photos. And I'm hoping that we'll get some feedback from the agent on this listing to see what she thinks of all the deliverables. Something pretty cool here. There's 750,000 data points being captured per second. That's the point cloud density from the Pro Camera's LiDAR. Combined with 10,000 HDR panoramas per scan, that's where the Gaussian splat quality comes from. Okay, we've pretty much circled that room, that space. We'll do the garage next. Now, I always do the scans trying to hide the garage because they're generally stuffed. But this one's open. So what I'm gonna do is use the tripod to prop the door open. We'll hit our button, get out of the way. Hopefully this aligns properly. We gotta move that before we go outside. Something meaningful worth mentioning, and this is a big picture, not just a feature, or not a feature, I'm sorry. Giraffe360 just closed a $10 million Series B. Founders Fund came back in. New lead investor, total funding now north of $30 million. Why would this matter to you as the photographer? because we're betting on the platform. Well, actually, because the platform we're betting our business on isn't going anywhere. Sorry, let me do this real quick. The update cycle that gives you new tools every 30 days is funded. That matters when you're out here recommending this camera to agents and building packages around it. I read somewhere that, I believe it was Mikas, somebody mentioned that the new funding is going to go towards more marketing, but also more AI development, I guess. Research that on your own, but regarding AI, I wonder how many of my viewers are leaning into AI. I've been using it more and more each day. I'll make a separate video on this because it's not related to Giraffe360, but I'm just curious kind of what tools everybody's using, and don't be afraid of it, it's here. So I'm gonna do a few scans. One thing I noticed was, I guess we need one in the middle maybe. And we could probably do one, we actually did one kind of right there. Now my typical workflow is front door, common areas. The bedroom happened to be first, so we did that first. Then we'll go upstairs, do that, with the primary bedroom being last upstairs. And then we'll do the backyard. And then I'll do the front yard on the way out. That's typically how I do things when I'm doing 3D tours. Curious to see if you guys are doing anything different. Okay, I had to swap out the battery on my Insta360 Ace Pro 2 that I'm using to record this. But I'm back. Well, I'm waiting for that. This backyard is pretty small, so we'll capture it before we go upstairs. Hit our done button. So I'll do one in the middle here. If you're a current Giraffe360 user, I'd love to hear where you're from in our great world that we live in. So drop a comment and let me know city, state, if you're in the United States, what country you're in, if you're out of the country. I'll be posting this video on both the Sparks Media Group YouTube channel and all its platforms that I distribute Sparks Media Group content on. And this will also be on the We Get Around Network platform and all its channels. On We Get Around Network, we have over 9,500 members across 150 countries. Pretty impressive. Okay. And before I go upstairs, I think, well, it's not quite in the middle here, but I think it's close enough. So we'll be good that. We'll go upstairs. No, I'm sorry, we'll do outside. So I did with the door open on this side. Now I'm going to go outside and do here. And again, we'll just circle the backyard like it's a room. I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to go right here. How do you guys like this tripod? It's a motorized dual height capture at the press of a button. The auto height tripod captures denser data for 3D and video without you manually repositioning the legs or repeating scans. That's the hardware innovation most people don't talk about enough. I'm curious to see how you guys like it. That's about 5 steps to be able to show the side yard here. When I'm outside scanning, I like to do about 5 steps. We'll see how this aligns. I think it should line okay. Okay. Another question is, how do you guys like using this Giraffe360 without having to rely on a device like a phone or an iPad? It took a little while for me to get used to, but I think I'm used to it now. I really like that you can see the live property coverage on the map, on that screen, as you go. You know, for me, there's no more walking out and realizing I missed a hallway or a bathroom. I can see it right on the screen, which is helpful. I don't have to rely on my cell phones and, you know, maybe the battery's low or maybe I'm on a call or whatever it is. And so it's cool to be able to just look at the screen. The Gaussian splat model has been trained on 600,000 plus properties. That training data is why the motion looks smooth and cinematic instead of jittery. It's not just rendering your scan, it's informed by every property that came before it. It's pretty cool. One of the deliverables I think is pretty cool is the sun path on the floor plan, and I'll show you that on the screen once this is processed. But you can literally adjust the time of day and it will show where the sun is and how the shadows are affecting the house based on where the sun is. I don't think that's a gimmick. I think it's pretty cool because a lot of people like to buy houses based on, you know, the direction they're in and where the sun rises and sets. And so Giraffe360 is kind of tapped into that, which I think is pretty awesome. I know. Yells at me, keep it level, don't tilt it. So we're just about an hour in, I would say. I'm curious, how long it takes you guys to capture a house. Again, this is a little over 2,000 square feet, I believe. And so for me, I think photographing it with a regular camera probably took about 30 minutes, maybe. I think doing this, does take a little extra time, but if we can get that still quality photo out of it, once we do that second pass, it's worth it, because all the images look the same. All the images from the scan versus all the images from the stills that it produces are all done at the same time of day, which is neat. I think for me also, though, I get a little bit of a, like, let's hurry up when I start to be at a house more than an hour and a half. And I don't have any other appointments today, so it's not like I'm rushing to get somewhere else. It's just, I like to get in and out quickly. But I have a photographer friend down in LA who does multi-million-dollar homes, and these are like 4, 5, 6, 10,000 square foot plus houses, and I'm sure for him that's a long shoot. He's not in and out in 30 minutes, so I think I just need to be a little more patient. This is what it boils down to. The agent put this brochure together. It's pretty neat. With all my photos in it from my Sony. It's really well put together. Good stuff. All right, we're on scan 37 outside, 37 total for the lower level. All right. Now we're headed to floor 2. We are at a good amount on our tripod battery here. And I'm not seeing on the camera the battery level. But I'm gonna YOLO it and just go for it. So we're gonna do the top of the stairs. And we're gonna call this floor 2. Floor change detected. Move scan to new floor. We're gonna hit cancel because we've already changed the floor. And if we go back to floor 1, there you have floor 1. There you have floor 2. So we're gonna keep it there. So video drives 403% more online inquiries and keeps viewers watching 5 times longer. That's not tour engagement, that's video specifically. If you're not offering video as part of your package, you're leaving the highest engagement format on the table. I love capturing video, but I'll be honest, I don't enjoy editing it, so this is a perfect solution because it does both. Remember, that's the primary bedroom over there, and I'm gonna do that last. But I do want to capture that hallway right there. Listings with virtual tours see a 2 to 7x higher engagement and 87% more views. That's the range, depending on the market. But even on the low end, it's a compelling pitch to any agent. A lot of people ask me how accurate the floor plan is. Giraffe360 says that the floor plan accuracy sits above 98%. And that's all because LiDAR is doing that work, not someone measuring rooms with a tape measure or a handheld laser measure, and they're still fallible based on how you hold it. Those lights on. I use an analogy. Actually, I'm not going to use that analogy. Just imagine you have an appraiser or somebody who goes to eat lunch and gets that itis after you eat lunch where you get really tired, and then they come out to measure a house and they're sitting there with the tape measure and it's kind of sagging and they're not really paying attention, and they just write down some numbers and it's not super accurate. Or even if you use, well, let's say this is a handheld laser measure and you put it against the wall, it has to be perfectly flat against that wall. Then you have to look over there and see where the dot is. And if you ever so slightly tilt it up or tilt it down, that can throw off the measurement by a little bit, and a little bit adds up to a lot. So I really like the fact that Giraffe360 has LiDAR and it's taking those 100,000 plus measurements per scan, because you just know that that data is going to be super accurate and dialed in. So here's an underrated feature that most people don't talk about, is gated virtual tours. Lets you show part of a property and then require a buyer to sign up to see the rest. You're pre-qualifying leads before the agent even picks up the phone. So you can, whatever your flavor is, if you want to hide the primary or you want to hide the upstairs bedrooms, I don't think I would go that far. I definitely hide closets, I hide garages, but you might want to hide one room. I would probably hide the primary if I was going to choose. Pretty cool feature. But that lead data can feed directly into targeted marketing campaigns, meta retargeting ads, email follow-ups, specific property outreach. The tour itself becomes a lead generation tool and not just a viewing experience. The gated tours also live on their own domain, not locked inside Zillow, for example. And the agent owns the URL, and the lead, they own the relationship. Okay. I know. So if we're looking down the hall, we haven't done this intersection yet. So there's actually multiple distinct video formats that are going to come out of this one scan. You get short vertical reels for Instagram, TikTok, shorts, for example. You get the cinematic room-to-room walkthrough, and you get a virtual drone fly-through, all from the same digital twin. Again, there's no need for having multiple people here or reshoots. I'm switching to my cell phone because my Insta360 got too hot. So until it cools down, this is what you get. I knew that was actually going to happen. I just, hadn't felt it in a while. I really should get more of these Insta360s. And just swap them out as they heat up. So the batteries get pretty hot too. An idea. While that scans, I'll take this bad boy, cool it off. There you go. Need to increase my production budget. Did I do that door? I did, okay. So we're gonna go on the inside now. Now, one thing that Giraffe mentions on their website is that the floor plans are ANSI and Fannie Mae compliant by default. It's ANSI Z765-2021, I believe, which means that they hold up in appraisals and lender reviews. Inaccurate measurements are the second most costly mistake in a listing after editing errors. And the AI builds an accuracy into the capture so that that problem goes away. Okay, I gotcha. I'm coming. Here we go. Do that. Can't forget that water closet. So one stat that I found, I think it was on TechCrunch maybe, subscriptions grew 800% in 2019 alone, and that was before the pandemic turbocharged virtual tour adoption globally. That's pretty impressive. Beyond residential, for us AEC type people, construction, architectural, that sort of thing, Giraffe360 provides 3D point cloud data for those markets, not just the residential real estate market. If you're doing any commercial work, the same camera hardware has a second use case that most photographers overlook completely. Okay. What's super impressive now with firmware updates are that, updates are happening all the time, and most of us never notice because it happens in the background. The camera that I have today wasn't the camera that arrived in the box. And that's a fundamentally different product model than buying other platforms. Just to kind of speak to the stability, revenue went from 1 million in 2017 to 17 million in 2023 to 22.8 in 2024. And that's, not hype. That's a company that keeps compounding. And with that Series B close and the rollout of this Pro Cam 2025 and 2026, that trajectory will keep on going. If you have a photography business, a capture business, and you're interested in finding out about scaling that business or pricing models, how to reach out to agents, that sort of thing, I do offer paid consultation calls, and I'll put a link in the description to this video, or I'll put a link in the description of this video that you can click and book a slot with me. It's an hour call. I'll record it. I'll provide a summary afterwards along with the recording so you can reference it back. And in that hour you can answer or ask me any questions that you want, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Everything except winning lottery numbers. Okay. We have everything up here except this. And I'm gonna do that and do one more inside there so that it aligns nicely. And then we're gonna go out in the front and do the front of the house. By that time, hopefully the GoPro will be cooled down enough where I can use it to show the photo side of things. All right, for real, one more. And I'm done up here. It's always just one more scan. Okay. So we are officially done upstairs. I know. Sorry for the not holding the camera right. All right. We're gonna drop this back down to floor 1. And do the front. Probably do like 4 scans in the front. Yeah, I know. Keep the camera straight. Let's see here. So I did get an alignment error. We're going to go back down here. Put it where it goes. Hit confirm. Nope, that wasn't it. Sorry. Realign. Confirm. Now I actually do see some alignment errors that hopefully it will fix. I know some of the scans were a little bit skewed, so that's a good test to see how Giraffe360 handles it. If it's gonna auto align that. I'm hoping it will. Might add a little time onto the processing. It's interesting though, I didn't get any errors when that happened, so I'm not really sure why that happened. Now I'll probably stand out here. Guess we'll have no choice. Let's see how it works with me standing out here. God, that's quick. So quick. Jesus. I'm going inside. Listen, I hope I don't end up in that scan. Boy, I wasn't ready. All right, let's see how this looks. I don't think you see me. I think we're okay. Go to here. Hide around the corner. Hope there's no wind gusts. Okay, that one was good. Hide out of the way. A couple more scans. It's the last one out here. While it's doing that, I'm gonna go see if my GoPro is chilled out. Or not my GoPro, I'm sorry, my Insta360 Ace Pro 2. And it's a lot cooler now. Stick a fresh battery in it. Okay, so that was the Giraffe360 scan of this house using double scan mode. Now we're going to do photos. That whole process took about 2 hours, I think. So we're going to do photos. We're going to go single. Actually, we're going to back out of here. And we're going to do a still photo. Now, I'm going to switch to the Insta. Okay, so now we're going to do still photos of this house. We have 60% camera battery, 51% tripod. We're going to click on still photo. And then we're going to adjust the tripod height. And let's see, angle adjustment we'll keep on. Tripod height, I like it at a 3 for our still photos. Straightening preview, we'll keep on. Now field of view, I like 115. There was a, angle adjustment. Now what's interesting is angle adjustment off, it's tending to skew the verticals ever so slightly. I'm going to leave it alone and we'll see how that auto adjusts. Again, we'll keep it at 115. I like that. Timer, we don't need a timer right now. Yeah, you see how the verticals are a little bit skewed? If I go and do this angle adjustment, it's interesting, I guess. You don't want to, well, let's keep it at that and see what it does. It's still a little skewed. I don't know if that's, I don't know what's causing that, but we'll figure that out. So let's start in this bedroom here. I like to do a rule of thirds. So I'm going to turn the camera so I see a little bit of this first wall, all of that far wall, and some of that next wall. I'm going to just hit the button and let's see what it does. Okay, hit done. And we're just going to move around. I'm going to put the camera in a similar position to where I was the other day with my tripod. It's very quick at capturing. Now, I'd rather show a little bit of both. And actually on this one, I'm going to turn the timer on just so I can back up enough to get out of the shot. On my Sony, I have a 2-second timer, so I'll just keep this timer on here. On shots without reflections, I can turn the timer off. I should say shots where I'm not in the reflection. don't know if I did. Can I review them? We'll review them later. I don't know if I did that one, but I'll do it again. Before we go in the garage, let's do the backyard. Put this down here. Okay. We'll go in the garage and see how it handles low light situations. It's pretty quick. Okay. Downstairs is done. I'm gonna turn off this light in here. Lock that up. Now, I'm kind of just floating through this. I really wish the scan times for that double scan would have been quicker. but because this is like lightning fast. This is even quicker than capturing with my DSLR. So we have all these rooms, now we just have the primary. I'm turn on the timer to 3 seconds for these. Actually, I'm gonna get this one first. Okay, I'm gonna start shutting lights off as I walk out. I'm not gonna get all of them because I don't wanna eat into the time, but I do wanna show how cool it is. Let's get the front yard. For the front yard, we'll raise the tripod height. Now, I'm going to self-level this a little bit. You don't typically have to level the tripod at all, but there was a little bit of a slope there, so I did. So that's amazing. We did this whole 2,000 square foot house. Front yard, backyard, inside in 15 minutes. Amazing. So I'm curious to see, again, what these are going to look like. But there you have it. That's how we do a Giraffe360 tour, a double scan tour of this house, plus still photos, and now we will upload and wait to see the deliverables. So the next step I'm gonna do is hit the X button. I'm actually gonna hit the shutdown. We're gonna slide to turn off, and it's going to shut down. We're not connected to Wi-Fi right now, so it automatically adjusts down to lower, and then we can put it back in our case, zip it up, and we are done. Next step will be getting in front of the computer and reviewing the deliverables. If you have any comments, leave them below. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't. Share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. Okay, everybody, we're here in front of the computer. I would say that I uploaded the Giraffe360 tour for processing probably around 6 p.m. And about 6 hours later, I got an email saying my project was ready, which I thought was extremely fast. So here we have the project. This is the first time I'm looking at it. Haven't done anything to it. So we're going to go through it. All right. Now, in a separate screen off to the side, I'm going to Google the address because I believe the agent has it listed. And she does. I want to match the description. I want to match the property data, basically. So let's look at the still photos first. Now, on each still photo, you can download, edit, or AI enhance. So we're going to look at them. They removed the camera from the mirror, which is good. Window pulls look good. I think they're a little on the brighter side, but I can certainly go and fix that. A little bit of sun flare there. This garage is nicely lit. These window pulls are a little bit too HDR for my taste. But these look overall pretty great. Here's the front of the house shot. It's a little icon on the images. Maybe that means, maybe this little icon down here means exterior. Let's take this closet and see if we can enhance it. So we'll do AI enhance. And let's do, what do we have here? We'll call this a primary room closet. Please add some colors to the see what this does. Hit enhance. Takes 1 credit. Looks like I have 75 free credits available. Wow, look at that. So it added a bunch of clothes. Did a really good job. It does mark it as digitally altered. We'll hit save and close. Oh, I gotta hit confirm actually. Oh, and there's options. So the base image didn't have a vent up here. This image put a vent, so we're not going to use that. And I'm not going to use that one. So we'll go with this one, hit confirm, and then save and close. And if we click back on all, and then scroll down, it's going to add it here. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to stage any other rooms because they're already staged. So there you have the photos. Now we're going to go look at, let's look at the virtual tour. So I started outside. Okay, so the tree icon means we're outside the house, we're inside. So we can come over here. Looks good. Now we're inside the house. The camera's removed from the mirror. And it did save it as the first floor. So now we can go up to the second floor. That looks good. Oh, one thing that let me go back real quick. Remember in the video, the walls weren't quite vertical. They were a little skewed. And you can see that this corrected that. That's huge that it was able to do that. So kudos to Giraffe360. All right, so we looked at the virtual tour, looked at the still photos. Let's look at this 3D floor plan. So here we have a 2D, and you can rotate it as you want. Here we have a 3D. Again, you can kind of rotate it as you want. That's pretty neat. Close that out. Get the point cloud. Let's actually go here real quick and go back to it. Is it in here? No. It was here. We're going to click on Generate Sun Path. Give that a couple minutes. We'll look at the floor plan. Garage, kitchen, living area, hallway, bedroom, bathroom. That looks good. Now, they don't label this primary bedroom, but we can edit it. There you go. It's going to reprocess. Won't do that now. Let's jump over to see if SunPath is available. Not yet. Wanted to see here. Okay, it's showing GLA 2540, total 2540. Now on Zillow, it's showing 2057. So there's a slight discrepancy there. Actually, not a slight, a pretty big one. I'm going to say Zillow's pulling public record based on what the agent put in. Curious to see how this 2540 is calculated. Let's go back, see if SunPath is ready. Not quite. Waiting generation, generating SunPath. So wait for that. Let's go to the videos now.
This spacious home offers 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and provides 2,280 square feet of comfortable living area. The expansive kitchen and living area spans 673 square feet, ideal for cooking, dining, and unwinding. The bedroom measures 137 square feet, providing a... This spacious home offers 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and provides 2,280 square feet.
So they said 2,280 square feet in the captions and the audio. Here it shows 2541. So there's some discrepancies there we would have to fix. And we can do that by editing. You saw that we can view it in landscape or portrait mode. Let's look at this virtual drone. It's pretty cool. We'll start horizontal. This is where having all the extra scan points really comes in handy. Okay. It's nice. And again, horizontal and vertical. Here we have an orbital drone. We'll watch this one vertically. I actually like the speed of this. I had a call, I believe with Sammy from Giraffe360, and I mentioned I get a little motion sickness. This one, for example, would be I can see why people like it. I just don't like the speed. This is nothing against their product at all. All right, here we have a cinematic Sunday light. I like the fact that you can get them in all different formats, portrait and landscape. Cool. I like how the transitions are timed with the music. All right, we got simple and sweet. Nice. In time. So these are different song choices. And the transitions are synced with the music. We've got cinematic arc motion. Let's take a look at that. Be able to kind of combine flavors of each into one. Let's go back and look. SunPath is still generating, and I don't know if we can set up our, let's see. All right, we'll go to listing spotlight. Here's all the different videos. We got social media cards. We can preview that. The logo's a little bit off here, but email blasts, print. You can create a campaign. It's pretty cool. Open house. Again, my logo's a little off. Let me see if I can change that. Zoom in, zoom out. Rotate it. Close that out. Property description. So information here. That's all. Location. Mentions all the locations. We'll hit save. Property data. Here's where we'll put in everything. Property type. 2 floors, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. Snow, half bath. Lot size is 3,419 square feet. Do house. It's listed for 680. Hit save. We have, oh, that's right. Now, can we change? Yeah, I'm not going to change that right now. Has my contact information, but we can put the agents in here. Let's see. Fill in all our other links later. Hit save. Actually, take that profile image off. Okay. Let's go back here. Now, click here. Looks like send path. It's ready. All right, so here we have the house at 6:30 a.m. and you can see we'll just slowly, sun's rising from the back side, and we get to 7:45. Now let's go to the second floor. So we can see sun's rising from the primary and then moving over. It's pretty cool. Waiting generation. So we'll generate property website. Now, if we click on tour links, you have the tour. Hit unpublished, we can hit. So we have listing site friendly. The tour will not include any branding, contact details, or links. This is good for MLS. Gated is limited to the first panorama. Contact details and email verification required to unlock the full access. Protected is limited to 3 panos. Viewers submit their contact, and you can share a temporary 3-day access. You can hit publish, and that will make it live. So let's look at this one. Might have the contact details. Get in touch. I'm not seeing any contact details here. All right, property website is unpublished. Let's take a look at it. We'll go to edit. All right. It's like a really good property website to me. Have the contact information of the agent. You know, downloadables. I would turn off the point cloud. I don't think people need to be able to download that. But yeah, looks great. Details. Contact form. Pretty cool. Hit save and close. And then we will publish it. So that's a review of the deliverables from the Giraffe360 Pro Camera of this particular address. Stay tuned for more. Hey everybody, Tom Sparks with We Get Around Network. I'm joined by Realtor Debbie Souza from Domestique Real Estate Group, powered by Compass, covering 9 Bay Area counties, I guess, plus the Central Coast.
Yes.
With specialties in luxury, probate and trust, divorce, relocation, all sorts of real estate. I recently photographed one of Debbie's listings in Fairfield with the Giraffe360 Pro Camera, and this is going to be her first time seeing the complete deliverable set. I'm going to share my screen and walk her through everything and get her honest reactions. I haven't paid her for this. She's here, of her own free will. This pairs with my workflow video and my own review of the deliverables, so you'll get the full picture. Debbie, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So before we get started, just tell me a little bit about you and where you cover. I kind of covered that already, but what you cover and how you got into it.
Okay. So my first introduction working within the real estate industry was back in 2003, where I was an assistant to a top producing broker associate. And then shortly after that, got my license and started selling. I moved to a community that I didn't know anybody other than my husband. So it's kind of interesting to, launch a real estate career like that, because lots of times people will have a network. But anyway, so I've been doing real estate since then, and it's great. I love it. I feel really, blessed and honored to help people with something so intimate as their home.
Yeah. So you've been, I guess it's been a long time, but not really compared to, a lot of agents, but it seems like you're really, really, really busy.
Yeah, I stay pretty busy. Most of this comes from referral.
Nice. So yeah, referrals are huge. And that just speaks a lot to, what you offer. So the listing that we shot was in Fairfield. It was on Clementine.
Mm-hmm. Can
you tell us about that listing, the property, the seller, the target buyer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the seller was an original. They purchased the home new in 2019, so it's newer construction. Still feels very new, and it. I think that one of the features that's nice about it that more buyers are looking for is that it has a bedroom and a full bath on the ground floor. So 4 bedrooms total and 3 full baths. And I describe it as being effortless. So the landscaping is low maintenance and drought tolerant. And it can, you can start packing and move right in. You don't really have to do anything. And it does have solar on it, nice features throughout. So, yeah, I think that the buyer could be anybody that is looking for multi-generational living, maybe a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, or even somebody who's thinking ahead if they want a bedroom and full bath on the main floor and will, come down to the lower level later on.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, let me do this screen share real quick and make sure I share the right screen and not my winning lottery numbers.
Can help you with that if you need it.
Yeah, you want to take that off my hand. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over here is the still photos. So I kind of told you a little bit about this when I asked you if I could do this on this property, but with the Giraffe360 Pro Camera, you can get still photos, or you can capture still photos. So it's really an all-in-one capture device. So I'm going to show you these and kind of just get your reaction to them.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Now, I don't know if you remember the pictures that I delivered from my Sony, but would you say these are usable, comparable? How do you?
Yes, they feel very good. I like that it's capturing that space, understanding, sometimes some products might not, it will kind of cut it, right? So you don't really have a perspective. If you were standing there in that same spot, what does the space look like? And I really appreciate this, how it's captured.
Yeah. Well, one thing I liked about the Giraffe360 Pro camera versus some of the other options out there is the window pulls are really clear. So normally in a 3D tour, the inside will be nicely lit, but then the outside is completely blown out and you can't see any details. And here you can kind of see everything.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the timing on the capture, but I want to say, and it will be in the video, but I want to say this, to capture this whole house for still photos only with this camera, it was only about maybe 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I really like these images.
Yeah, did a great job. Let's see what we got here. Let's go over the 3D tour next.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to something on the photos in a little bit here. But here's the 3D tour.
Cool.
We can walk around. Now, once we're inside, you get this map. So we can walk down the hallway, go in the garage if we wanted to, or we could just click over here and go right into the kitchen. So you have this nice little map.
Yeah.
And then we can go upstairs. What do you think of this?
I like it.
Or how do you think that like out of area buyers would respond to something like this? Do you think it would change how they kind of evaluate the property?
I do. I think that it's a great resource. Having recently worked with some clients that are, sometimes they're out of state, not just like, or even they could be a couple hours away. I think it helps provide them with some perspective versus even if you have still photos and you put them sort of in a sequence so that they are telling a story, that this is going to allow them to really kind of get a flow through the home and be able to say, oh, well, what does it look like if I, turn slightly to the right or something like that, that it's going to give them a little bit more of an idea. And to your point also that you were mentioning earlier about how the windows are clear and so that they can, even from inside, have a sense of like, oh, okay, what is outside that window?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. If I got a little closer, you could have seen down, but I didn't.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to show Currently, the platforms that are out there that would be Giraffe360 competitors, it's kind of a pain in the butt process to get rid of the camera from the mirror. And here you can see that it automatically does that.
Yes. Now that you mention it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So let's go over, let's look at the floor plans. Now, give me your first impression, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this?
I like it. I like that it has the shaded colors, clearly labeled. So I see the bedrooms are, have their own kind of color coding.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we can change these labels. So if this was an office, we don't have to call it a bedroom. We can call it an office. How often do you list, or how often do you include floor plans in your listings?
I like to include them often. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the trend. Everybody's starting to include them more and more.
Yes. And depending on, the property and who the potential buyer is, even when I'm out working with buyers, it's not unusual for them to request a floor plan. They will ask, does the agent or does the seller have, drawings or a floor plan? So I think having a resource like this as the listing agent means to, capture potentially a larger pool of prospective buyers.
Nice. Here we have a 3D floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty cool. Let's load this up here. So you have, the kind of traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have this 3D view, and the rooms are labeled right down here.
Oh, yeah.
So we can go upstairs. Now, as far as the listing presentation tool, or maybe a buyer marketing tool, do you think this could fit in somewhere?
I do. Yeah. I think that because people receive information differently, so having something that is that 3D scenario, you do have, buyers that are potentially going to be more drawn to something like this than the, flat floor plan, or they can find it to be useful both in, I guess you would call it 2D versus 3D.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now take a look at this. This is the cool feature. So this is called Sun Path. And you start at 6:30 a.m. And as time goes on, you see the sun moving throughout the house.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, that is, that's a really kind of above and beyond. You're just, here's a floor plan. What's the daylight like, Debbie? Well, I don't know. But then you have something like this. Again, this could be really helpful for people that maybe aren't quite sure with that particular location, and or they're out of area. And, you have somebody that if they say having natural light coming into the home is really important, and being able to see that at different times of the day, it's a great tool.
Yeah, like here's sunrise, and this would be the primary bedroom up here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got kind of noon, and then as you go to sunset, right there,
that golden hour.
Yeah. Do you get buyers that ask about kind of natural light a lot, or?
I do. I just recently helped a client, and that was one of her things that she said it was really important for her to have, a certain level of natural light. So, and I do see sometimes when people are coming in to view a home, whether I'm, representing them as a buyer's agent or even as the listing agent that might be doing a accommodation showing.
Yeah.
They might want to turn the lights off because they want to have a sense of what is the amount of light in the home.
Yeah, had I had this for the house I bought, I probably wouldn't have bought this house. Because God, in the evening, the sun just beats down on the front, and the whole entire front of the house is just like, orbital reentry. It's so hot to open the door. It's just, I probably would have picked a better positioned house.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show you some videos.
Okay.
And I might have to mute the volume. We'll see how this goes.
All right.
So all these deliverables are included with a tour. Now, some of them, with the Giraffe360 Pro Camera, you can do two different types of scans. One is a single scan, which can give you the regular 3D tour and some of these videos. But then there's a double scan method, which takes a little bit more time, but you can get some of these pretty cool drone videos that I'll show you. So here's a regular tour video. And let me know if you can hear this as I'm playing it.
Okay.
Could you hear that or no?
No.
Okay. Sorry.
All right.
I'll have to add that audio in. So what it is, and I didn't edit this at all, and so some of the information is wrong, but you can have voiceovers. So you can have somebody narrating the property, and there's a caption down here at the bottom. And then so it's a video that just kind of orbits around.
Yeah.
And you can get it in horizontal or in vertical format.
Oh.
And again, all this information would pop up here. I didn't edit any of it. So it's not there right now, but here's the captions.
Okay.
So this might save some time if you need to post quickly on social. This is a new one, and I'm going to mute it so I can hear your reaction. Let's see. Actually, it is muted. There's no audio. What do you think about this?
I think it's pretty cool.
So it's like a simulated drone flying, but it's all made with the camera.
Oh, wow.
That pegboard you wanted me to capture.
It's the little complementing colors.
Yeah. So again, here's the vertical, and then there's a horizontal version. What do you think about this?
I like it.
Now, here's one different version. A little slower, I would say. I keep telling the folks at Giraffe360 I get motion sickness very easily. So some of these, I was like, oh.
I think I like this because I could see being able to use it on a property-specific website. And, of course, you could even probably have it linking so that it becomes through the multiple listing service, etc. And
yeah,
again, how people receive information differently, and so being able to have that sense of movement and in conjunction with still photos.
Yeah. Let's see. This one, not my style, but you tell me what you think. You ready? You sitting down with your seatbelt on?
Yeah, strapped in. Oh my.
Thoughts?
I think it is. I mean, I can appreciate it's zooming through to the next spot, but I'm not sure how especially for, people that might be a little bit sensitive to quick motion.
Yeah, I'm over here closing my eyes as I'm hitting play. Okay, then there's some more kind of Sunday stroll type of videos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. It really offers a lot of options.
Yeah, you can edit them. You can get them in both formats.
Mhm.
They have different music for these ones. I think this is the last one with the different angles, but you can kind of see it like orbits and arc.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So all these are included as deliverables.
Okay. What I appreciate about the vertical or, maybe social media, right, sort of
Yeah.
is that it's still giving a sense of the space without it being cut down, so that you don't have that. Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to say is that you still get a sense.
Yeah. It's not cropped in.
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they offer property websites
Okay.
with this too. You get this included.
Oh.
And so this is kind of what one of their property websites would look like.
Mm-hmm.
You have a video here. You got the different photos here. Have all the house information. These are different. There's a school here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a park.
Oh, yeah.
You got the different videos. You have all this right here that you can switch between.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just view the static floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the 3D tour.
All right.
Now, I know you currently have your own platform that you like, but is this something that you may, appreciate, use?
Well, I feel like it could even be incorporated into what I use right now. And so, yes, or even that as a standalone product, right? So if you're zipping around and you have a couple properties coming on at the same time, it could definitely save some steps. And so
Yeah.
it allows you to provide that higher level of service to the client.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have something called Listing Spotlight, and I think it's still in beta, but you have all these different options of graphics that are already created.
Uh-huh.
So you have Facebook posts, different, formats,
Uh-huh.
email templates, print templates.
Mm-hmm.
You can create a automated marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do just listed. Now, do you have to create these when you use these type of graphics? Do you create these on your own, or do you use a service?
So my brokerage has a nice platform, right, that they do create some of the marketing material assets for us. And I have some things, excuse me, that I create on my own. But then I do have a lot of resources available to me as well. It looks like some nice things in here that could, complement what I'm currently doing.
Yeah, and I like. I didn't understand. I didn't understand what this was at first. I was like, "Why is it a 2-page graphic?" But I realized this is the caption you would put, and it says "edit caption" here. Duh.
No.
Okay. So yeah, out of all of these, because I think we covered everything. Out of all of these, which deliverable do you think would work the hardest for this listing?
I don't know. I mean, it's I feel like it's a really comprehensive package, and it would be hard to choose just one.
Well, I would say that probably not the still photos
Uh,
because I did
yeah.
them. But no, the still photos are great. It's really cool how, you don't have to know how to do video. You don't have to know how to do a 3D tour. You don't have to know how to do photos. Well, I mean, you do have to know how to do a 3D tour, but you can get everything from the one product instead of having multiple sets of gear and have to worry about video editing and photo editing and
Mm-hmm.
floor plan creation. It's all together. And then, kind of as a bonus, if this was a house that might need some fixing, which it clearly doesn't, but if it did, you get cloud files, which are the data files, actual scan points from the house. And so you could give this to an architect or a designer, and they have that data where they can reconfigure the house. So if you ever have a house that needs some fixing up,
Uh-huh.
you can capture it with that.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That can
Um,
also be a value add working with a buyer, right? So you get into contract and they have articulated that they want to make some improvements and, more than probably just paint, right? So then being able to use this product and offer it to them so that then they have a resource to go and take to that design or architect.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I got. So, Debbie, thank you. It's been really valuable. And for everybody watching, this is going to pair with my workflow video that I created and the review that I did of the Giraffe360 deliverables. So you'll get kind of both sides, the agent and the part-time photographer. Um, Connect with Debbie at homesbydomestique.com.
Yeah.
The link is in the description. And if you're a photographer or a 3D capture pro or a prop tech professional, head over to www.wegetaroundnetwork.com. We currently have around 9,500 members in about 150 countries.
Oh,
Debbie, thanks again, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
thanks, Tom.
Thanks for watching.